Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today we have a COVID health protocol update on the Princess website, and it is dated February 14th, 2022, which is today. And I also have a couple of questions that I want to answer in regards to the video that I put up on Saturday. So first of all, a big welcome to all of our Let's Go family members. It is great to be here with you. Also, welcome to all of you who are new. If there is anyone here who hasn't subscribed yet, we would love it if you would consider subscribing to our channel. We have an amazing Let's Go family here, and lots of us are sharing lots of really helpful information about cruising now, as well as information from everything about not only protocols and what's going on in the cruise ship, but about everything that you need to know as you prepare to go on a cruise. And so it's a really wonderful place to be. So first of all, like I said, I've got a few questions that came up regarding my video on Saturday. First of all, I just wanted to start off by saying I understand why the CDC has jurisdiction over the cruise lines. I know. I just wanted to let you know that I know that, and I'm not going to share my opinion or my frustration about anything to do with that again, because I know that lots of us have different opinions. There are people that think lots of different things, and so I just want to keep this a place where everyone is happy to be and we share really important information so that we can all be able to cruise. And so first of all, I did have some people mentioned that they were only doing exemptions. In the comments, people mentioned that they're only doing exemptions for children under 12. I didn't think that was true, and so I called Princess today about several things and found out that no, indeed, that is not true. And in addition, I have received emails from Let's Go family members who have cruised, who are adults, and they received medical exemptions. And so I just wanted to let you know about that. During the course of my conversation, the Princess rep did say that those exemptions really are few and far between, that they do not give a lot of exemptions. So if you need to if you've got a cruise booked or you're looking at booking a cruise and you are not vaccinated, you need to call the customer service line there at Princess and talk to them about it. She said that you have to tell them why, you have to submit some paperwork, and that then they'll make that determination and let you know. So get right on that if you are either booked on a cruise or looking at a cruise and you've got a reason that you can't be vaccinated. The next thing that I wanted to let you know about is there were a few comments that people said that they had cruised and there were no unvaccinated people on their ship. And I wanted to say that there's really no way of knowing. I personally think it would be really inappropriate to go around asking people if they're vaccinated or not. And so while they're not making a lot of exemptions, I'm sure that there are some exemptions. But so don't just assume that people don't tell you they're not vaccinated that they're vaccinated. And along with that goes the caveat that if you are so concerned that you might accidentally somehow sit next to or be on the same ship with anyone who is not vaccinated, just really make sure that you feel comfortable cruising right now, because COVID's not going away and the need for exemptions is not going to go away. And so if you want to be on a ship that only has vaccinated people, and especially like if you're concerned about boosters, you're going to want to look at Norwegian, because Norwegian is requiring vaccinations for one thing, and for another thing, I am just like holding my breath waiting for them to say what they're going to do with boosters, because they're taking away that mask requirement. And so there is so much going on in cruising right now that with this new CDC cruise ship program and what the ships are doing with masks and everything, that it just really begs the question of where these different cruise lines are going to land in what they are going to require with vaccinations and boosters. So we've got a lot to keep our eye on. So I just wanted to let you know that that there are going to be exemptions here and there on Princess, and so make sure that you feel comfortable with that. If not, just look at a different cruise line would be my recommendation. And I understand that it's really hard to navigate this right now, and so just kind of take the whole picture in. The other thing that I wanted to let you know is that for vaccinated people only, it is only for, vaccinated people can get off in the ports unless a particular port has a restriction, but generally you can get off in any of the ports and walk around on your own, because another excursion through a tour company, whatever you want. It is only the unvaccinated people that can only disembark in a Princess excursion. So I wanted to let you know that. And then additionally, for the unvaccinated people, if you're thinking of asking for an exemption or you've got one, you need to wear your mask indoors and outdoors, and I think they will have told you this, except for when you're eating or drinking or receiving a spa treatment to the face. And also you're going to need to have 3 tests. If you're unvaccinated, you'll do that test 2 days before you embark. Nope, a PCR test within 3 days of embarkation, sorry. And then you'll also be tested again at the port as you embark, and you will be tested again at disembarkation. And that is according to the directives that the CDC is giving right now. So I just wanted to make that clear. Now, I want to tell you all about what the updates are for today. And as I go through where we stand with the COVID health protocols on Princess, I'm going to let you know where we stand with everything. We have so many new people here, and I get so many questions about protocols that we have gone over in videos that were done previously, that I feel like it's been a couple of months since I gave you a full picture of where we stand. So I'm going to do that today so that you really know where we are with all of the rules. So first of all, with Princess, if you are going to cruise, it says guests must receive their final dose of an authorized COVID-19 vaccine at least 14 days before the beginning of the cruise. It says boosters are highly recommended for those who are eligible, and please get them 7 days before you sail. As far as testing goes, you need to show proof of a negative COVID test, and it can be the PCR or the rapid antigen, just done within 2 days of embarkation. So that is for vaccinated people. Like I told you, I just told you what the rules are for unvaccinated people, but most people on these cruises are vaccinated. The other thing is that you are going to need to wear a mask indoors, except for when you are eating or drinking, or when you are receiving a spa treatment to the face. So keep that in mind as far as masking goes. That goes for whether or not you're vaccinated. So that includes vaccinated people. That is being required. Another thing that I wanted to let you know about are which vaccines are required as I tell you about that, because it's really important to make sure, because we've got Let's Go family members from all over the world here, that your vaccines meet the requirements. So you can have 2 Pfizer doses or 2 Moderna doses or 1 dose of each. And either one, like you can have 1 Pfizer and 1 Moderna, and it doesn't matter which order. You can have 1 dose of the Johnson & Johnson, 2 doses of the AstraZeneca, 2 doses of the Sinopharm, 2 doses of the Sinovac, 2 doses of the Covaxin, and then the Novavax, 2 doses of that. So those are what the World Health Organization has okayed, and that is what the cruise lines are going with. And so those are the COVID vaccines that you can have, and they're considered acceptable. When you get to the cruise ship, you are going to have to show proof of those of your vaccine, and it says that you can either have a digital or a paper record, and it can have a QR code. It just needs to show the vaccine type, the date that each vaccine was administered, and the individual's name and the date of birth, so that everybody can kind of, so that they can verify that it's you and that you are vaccinated. And I know that there are different forms of proof of vaccination from different countries all over the world. And so just bring or have access to on your digital device whatever it is that your country does. Here in the United States, we have our little vaccine cards, and like we got our booster over at Costco, and they also gave us a QR code as well as marking it on our card. So just bring whatever it is that you've got. I also wanted to let you know that it does not say, like I said, boosters are not required. It does say that they are strongly recommended and that different ports on your itinerary might have a requirement for that. And that in the long run is going to affect what some of the requirements are on some of the cruises. It says boosters may be required by certain health authorities on the itinerary or required on specific voyages. New vaccine entry requirements can change without notice, so we recommend you keep your vaccination status up to date and ensure you are familiar with the requirements of the destinations that you plan to visit. And so that's where we stand with boosters. As far as the testing goes that you're going to have to do, like I said, it needs to be done within 2 days of embarkation. And so if you sail on a Sunday, that means that you can get tested on Friday or Saturday or even Sunday. So that's the requirement. They do point out that they recommend that you be tested if you can before you leave home, because if you wait until you get to the port to be tested for the first time and you test positive, then you're going to maybe have to quarantine before you can go back home. And so I just wanted to make sure that everybody remembers that. In addition to that, they recognize that it is really hard for some people to find a place to be tested, although I do think that testing is becoming a lot easier. So they point out that they have the docgo.com option for people who are sailing out of Fort Lauderdale, Los Angeles, or San Francisco. And you just go to their website, make an appointment. It costs $100. They do it right there at the port. And if you are from a country other than the United States, you just enter the address for the port that you want to be tested when it asks for your address, and then you can go ahead and make that appointment. Additionally, you can order the tests that you can do at home with a healthcare professional on a video call with you. You can order them from Optum or from eMed. There's a radius option, but people are not reporting good things about that. And I've got a whole video up about everything you need to know about testing, and so I'm going to link it below this video so that you can watch it. There's also the Quest Diagnostics option, but that's not a good option either. People are not getting their test results back in time, so don't do that. So that's what you basically need to know about testing. And like I said, if you have any more questions or want more information, watch that other video. It says also that on certain voyages, 15 days and longer, including Panama full transit, Hawaii, and transatlantic voyages, in addition to the pre-cruise test, vaccinated guests may also have an antigen test administered at the terminal at embarkation as a precaution. Also, some people are also reporting that you also are going to have to be tested during your voyage. And I'm hearing different things about that. Right now, we've got people who are on their way to Hawaii, and they were tested 2 days into the cruise. It was in Club Fusion. It went super smooth. They said no problem. And then Jerry, who is our Let's Go family member, he called Princess today because he's booked on a Hawaii cruise in April, and they said that for that cruise they would be doing the testing, in that 2-day window, which we all need to do, and then tested at the port, and then tested 7 days into the cruise, and tested again 2 days before they get back to the port at the end of the cruise. And so it sounds like maybe some testing is going to be evolving a little bit, but just know that when you go on a longer cruise, you might be tested during the cruise. The next thing that I wanted to let you know about is I have so many people who are asking about Alaska and Canada for this summer. Their protocols still say what they're saying, and I apologize. Last week I told you I would get you the Canada video, and my week kind of got out of control. They're visiting with my grandchildren, and so I'm going to do that video right after I do this video, so watch for that video to come tomorrow. But they are still saying that for the 2022 Alaska cruise tours and Alaska and non-Alaska cruises starting and ending in Vancouver, they are working with Canadian authorities to determine the specific guidance on testing for both the cruise tours and cruising. It says they will advise the guests booked on these cruises as soon as that information becomes available. If you're new here, my husband and I are booked on one of those cruises. We're sailing round trip out of Vancouver right at the beginning of the season on May 2nd. The only Princess cruise that goes before us is departing on April 30th. And so we'll be able to show you how that works and everything as we get ready, and Princess will be sending us that information. Once again, Princess reminds everyone to keep up to date with what the requirements are in the to fly into different destinations and everything that could be affected by everywhere that you are going to travel to embark on your cruise, to go to visit ports on your cruise, and once you disembark. So I wanted to let you know that. I wanted to let you know also that for people who are looking at cruising who have just recovered from COVID-19, it says guests who have recovered from COVID-19 within 3 months of their embarkation do not need to get a viral test 2 days before embarkation if they are at least 10 days past their COVID-19 infection. If you have no symptoms and you can produce documentation of recovery from your COVID-19 infection. So the documentation that's going to be required is you have to have paper or electronic copies of a positive viral test result from a certified laboratory no more than 90 days ago, and also a signed letter on official letterhead that contains the name, address, and phone number of a licensed healthcare provider or public health official stating that the individual has been cleared to end isolation and is at least 10 days past their infection start date. So it has to include all of the information about your infection. And so I just wanted to let you know that they have made that allowance. And it says that, and now this is an update, they say they are also telling us what the guidance is. If you have completed you've recovered from COVID-19, but you're still testing positive, it says it's pretty much the same thing. You need to do that same documentation, and they will be able to let you go on the cruise. It says, it does not say if you need to take that test within 2 days or not, and so you might want to go ahead and do the test and bring your documentation with you. That's what I would do if it was me. And so I wanted to let you know. Now, the other thing that I'm following up with you on is, so if you've got any questions on the testing, on recovering from COVID, or anything like that, put those in the comments below, and I will get back to you. It's really kind of complicated a little bit, but it's straightforward when you kind of look at it and think about what all it entails. But I just wanted to make sure if you've got questions, you feel comfortable asking them. They have also updated and say that we welcome guests who use oxygen concentrators and guests who are undergoing the peritoneal, I probably said that wrong, dialysis. Unfortunately, we are unable to accept guests who are dependent on supplemental oxygen tanks or are undergoing hemodialysis at this time. And so that is a new update as well. Finally, I want to make sure, here, let's see, the last thing that I wanted to let you know is I forgot to tell you about the masking. You're going to have to wear the mask on the ship in the indoor areas, like I told you, but also when you go into ports in a lot of places, they are going to require a mask, and so you need to be ready to wear a mask. And it's like when we were in the Bahamas and then in Mexico on our most recent cruise, I had a few comments about why were we wearing masks when we were on land, because they didn't help and all these other things. We need to wear a mask when we go to these places because that's the requirement. And so whether or not we think masks work, whether or not we think we should have to wear a mask because we're vaccinated, any reason, you need to be prepared to wear a mask to follow their local protocols. And I am going to be doing a video and letting you know some personal experiences of people who have tested positive on the cruise ship and being quarantined. We've had a couple of gracious Let's Go family members who have written to me just recently and shared their experiences. And so I'm going to put those in another video because this video is getting so long. But I want to let you know that we have firsthand information on how those quarantines are going, and what to be sure that you know if you end up in that situation so that you can be prepared. If you are on the ship and you start not feeling well and are tested and you test positive, you're going to be quarantined. If you are on the ship and you are the member of a travel party of someone who is tested positive, you're going to be quarantined as well. And so you need to know what to do to be prepared for that. They will move you to another cabin. Princess is doing an excellent job on all of the reports I am receiving of putting people in balcony cabins. And so they're doing like I said, an excellent job of handling the situation if that happens to you. And so I just wanted to bring everyone up to date on all of this. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Watch for another video today and then tomorrow, because there is just so much information out there and so much going on right now that I'm going to share it with you. So I really appreciate you sticking with me. If you appreciate these updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up, as that really helps us. And I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.